Hey blockheads, this is DJ AK from NK Airplay Radio, and if you love what the My So-Called Whatever podcast crew is doing, check us out too. NK Airplay is an online radio station playing all your favorite hits from the 80s and 90s, especially the ones from those boys in the band, New Kids on the Block. Listen to artists like Boyz II Men, Debbie Gibson, Tiffany, boy bands, girl bands, and many more. We play artists that are associated with or who inspired the New Kids on the Block, plus some of the artists that inspired us while we were growing up. Check us out on social media at NK Airplay Radio. And download the Live 365 app for your iPhone or Android phone and listen today.
Friends forever, that's what we are. Through the thick and the thin, we're friendship stars. We're banger main buddies from the days of old. We laugh, cry, and hug, friendship solid gold. My so-called whatever started a year ago. We share our stories and your stories were told. 80s, 90s memories that give us glee. And on the block party shows, NKOTB. Now our friendship circle has grown by far. Hashtag friends forever, that's what we all are. Boom. And if you don't know, now you know. My so-called whatever for life. Hashtag MSCW. Hashtag friends forever. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we Oh, you're
ready?
Recording.
Yeah.
Cool.
We just said that at the same time. All right. So
Hi.
the police are coming.
They are?
Do you hear it?
No.
Oh, okay.
My hot water heater is on, so I can't hear like the background noise. Can you hear my hot water heater?
No.
Well, that's good news.
No, I cannot hear it.
It's right over there. Let me just say, I'm going to start by saying my husband was off today,
Okay.
and he put our outside Christmas decorations up.
Yay!
Let me tell you what I came home to
Oh my.
from work. So we don't put lights out. I put lights on my wreath on my front door, like battery operated ones that are on a timer.
Okay.
And I also put like the little like the candlesticks in the windows.
Yeah, I did that.
And then we usually do like a spotlight on the front door, and that's it.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Okay.
So
I'm ready for this. I'm excited.
I came home, and my entire house is lit up.
Yes.
With projection, like
Oh my
flashy,
God.
spinny things.
Yes, Pete. Yes.
And it plays music.
It does?
Yeah. So like my neighbors are listening to the music. If they're outside, they
love
hear
it. They love it. They love
so
it.
I mean, I have
It's the season.
I know he went and had to buy some things today because like in years past, we've had like a wire that goes across our walkway, and he doesn't like that because like it makes him nervous.
Right.
Totally reasonable. And also like with snow blowing, if it snows.
Right.
So anyway, he had to go get some extra like wires and connectors and adapters and whatever that stuff is. And he ended up coming home with all kinds of new lights.
I love it. I think that's fantastic.
And he did like put them, like aim them at the house in a very like strategic way. So it does look good. But it is like a circus.
To see it. I
like
cannot wait to see it. Because you know me.
Yes, you'll love it. My daughter loves it.
We were going for a ride last night. We went for a ride because Kevin owns storage unit buildings. So we went there and I got to see the lights on the way. And I was like, Kevin, we need to up our game. Like, we got to put lights on the like posts and like around the windows. And
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that go all out.
I want to.
There's the house down the street from mine. Well, it's down like from the cul-de-sac, and they always do a wonderful display.
Right.
They do an amazing Halloween one too.
Oh,
their Halloween game is like insane. Yes.
Is that the one that everybody goes to see?
I don't know.
You know the one that's up by Darcy's?
No, they
Okay.
don't do the Halloween.
Okay.
They do Christmas, but their house was for sale, so they might not be doing it this year.
Oh, wow.
I think it sold,
no. Oh, no.
Yeah, and they did it for donations for the NICU.
Yep.
Which was nice.
It was nice.
And that was a banging display.
Banging is the word.
Like, you go there on any night in the month of December.
There's a line.
And that street is lined with cars.
Yep.
And Sadie loved it. So, like, we'd drive up there. We probably could have walked, but it's cold.
It's cold.
And in the years past, like, they'll have a night or a couple nights when Santa's there. Yeah, and they have, like, hot chocolate. And it's cool, yeah. It would be different this year, but.
They have the same kind of thing in Brewer. Like, that whole neighborhood.
Yeah. Do they still do it over there?
I don't know, because last year I think we went to go through it and there, like, wasn't any.
I think that it's different now.
I think it's because the people that, like,
established
control of it,
yeah.
I think they moved away.
Yeah.
Okay, this is just pure speculation, but I do believe their house was for sale. The ones that always had the, like, hot chocolate booth and
yes,
I believe they moved. So I think when they did, it kind of
died down because
which is sad. Yeah,
it is sad. That was always a highlight, though, to go to that neighborhood.
Right.
That was fun.
Gettysburg is because it's like that's what it's called, the street. Yeah.
The street and, like, up the streets up and around there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I came home to.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of him.
My gosh, and my daughter is thrilled.
I bet she is, and that's so cool.
It is. She's 8, so that's exciting.
Yeah. My kids were excited, kind of. Not as excited as they would be if they were Sadie's age, but they, we didn't do lights for years, and now because we really didn't have the home to do lights. You have your front porch now, right? I didn't have that before,
which you can do a lot with,
right?
And I don't have a front porch, so that's why, like, we don't do much with lights on the house itself.
Mm-hmm.
We have in the past. But he had to get on the roof. Mm-hmm. And, like, he doesn't like getting on the roof.
And that's dangerous.
I wouldn't like getting on the roof.
No, me either.
And then one year we did, like, the tree, like the big, big tree. But then something happened, and then a light broke, and then they all went out, and it was, like, a lot of hassle to do the whole tree. And then it was on for, like, 4 days.
That's not cool.
Actually, we still have a strand of lights up in the tree.
Hey. No judgment.
So yeah. So that's it. We still haven't decorated our tree. It's up.
That's fine.
And I have garland around it. But Sadie and I are going to decorate it this weekend, and we'll decorate, like, around, like, in the house and put up the village and stuff. I haven't felt well.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom's going to come over now that we know I'm, like, COVID free and, like, we're safe.
Yeah.
My mom's going to come over and she's going to help me.
Well,
and we're also going to paint one of my fireplaces.
That will be nice. That's the one thing that I bonded with my mom over was decorating for Christmas. And I do miss her a lot this year.
I'm sure.
My sister and I actually got her this, like, little Christmas thing. It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and my sister went to TJ's and she found it and she was like, "Do you think Mom would like this?" And I said, "Yeah, I think she would, because it's, like, battery operated and it had, like, glitter. It was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It was super cute. It had, like, water in it. And so, because my mom is at a facility, because her dementia got too bad. And we aren't able to see her. We haven't seen her for a few weeks now. So we wanted to do something to kind of, because she loves Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, my mom loved Christmas, loved decorating, could not wait to decorate with me in the new house. And that's why it's been kind of sad, because she didn't get that chance. So, so my sister brought that over to her today, and then they took pictures of her opening it, and it was so cute. She was so happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. I just have to mention and interject and say your mom and her holiday decorating is always on point.
She could, we had a very small house growing up, like very small. And just like the outside was, she did everything. She did everything. She decorated the bushes out front. She did, the lights always look pristine, beautiful, but she always loved decorating. And we'll talk about that in a little while, but yeah, it's so good that your mom's going to be able to come over and do that, because that will be nice for you two
it will be. And Sadie's excited to do that with her. Yeah. And I don't want to say I like decorating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not feeling it this year.
I feel ya. It's just the year in general. It's
and I feel bad because I feel like I'm like, me not being into it is not fair for my daughter. But it's just, this is a shitty year.
It really
guys.
Is. It really is.
I will say, and there are other people that are in the same boat. It's likely that you are as well. But this is the worst year of my life, hands down. And I don't want to be home for Christmas, and I wasn't going to be home for Christmas, but now we have to be home.
We weren't going to be home for Christmas either.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We were going to be gone, and now we're not.
Right. So I've got to do what I can for my family, and also to help my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
I can't imagine. It's going to be a hard Christmas. It just is.
It is. And also, last year was hard too, because of, like, he was in the hospital and stuff, and in Portland and far and whatever. But But anyway, how was your day?
It was pretty good. I got a lot done today. Like, I felt like I got a lot done today, even though I really didn't. I rode on the Pendleton. Is that what it's called?
The Peloton.
Nope. The Peloton, the Pendleton, Paddington Bear. I don't know. The Peloton. I rode on the Peloton today. Trying to ride on it once a day. It literally, like, I felt like I was dead.
Really?
I
want to try it.
You should come over and try it. It's like, I can't tell you, like, 20 minutes when you haven't been doing stuff, and like, you never really like rode a bike like that for like that. It's hard. But
I can imagine
you burn a ton of calories, and afterwards you feel fantastic. I did not. I wanted to go back to bed afterwards, which isn't like me usually. But yeah, so that was fun. And then I took a shower and went right to work, and that was it. And I worked, and that was that.
Nice. We recorded last night, so
right.
So just, not a lot has happened since our last episode.
Right.
Only because we recorded like one night and then the next night, because we have some other stuff going on next week. So,
and then we're going to be on a podcast. So we'll give you guys those details as soon as we have the details when we'll be on the podcast. But it's another nostalgia podcast. So we have a lot in common, and we're going to go and talk New Kids on the Block. So
it'll be so fun.
I'm excited.
Like, I am pumped.
She has a very detailed outline of things she'd like to cover, possibly. We're not going to be able to cover all of those things, but I'm excited.
It'll be a fun conversation, though.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun. And I think that our friends here will like to listen to that, too.
Yeah, if we do any New Kids trivia, I'm a little nervous because my memory is not very good. And
we're not experts.
Please don't come for me.
No, we are not experts.
No, we are by no means experts. Like,
no, we are. We're big fans.
When it comes to trivia, you guys, I'm not very good at trivia unless it has something to do with like drunk history. So
I love drunk history.
Yeah, me too.
So we should get into this.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to ask you how your day was.
Oh. Did I say? I didn't say?
I don't think. Well,
I said that no, my day was long. Work was very busy. And it's only because I was out.
Yeah.
So I have makeup work to do. I'm almost caught up.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I'm caught up, it's going to be, because you guys know I'm a travel agent. So as soon as I'm caught up with my work, I'm going to have nothing to do. Because that's just the way that it is right now. But no, I got my clients tickets to Cameroon, and I got my other clients tickets to Aruba, and I booked a cruise today. Like, people want to travel. They want to. They're hopeful. I'm hopeful too.
I want to go to Las Vegas.
I hope they all get to go. I want to go to Las Vegas.
We're going to go.
Oh, we are. Definitely.
I think these are my thoughts. I think once the holidays are complete, I think we should pick a date in the future and just do it. And then pray for the best. Like, go like May or June. Do you know what I mean? And say, this is when we're going to go. And then if it doesn't work out,
that might be too early, but
maybe September.
Yes, I'm thinking fall of 21. I'm thinking fall of 21. And you know what we do? We book it. We get the cancel for any reason insurance.
Okay.
We offer that. I offer that. It's worth every penny if you got to cancel for any reason.
Yeah. So we'll do that. That would be fun.
Yeah.
And then we can actually have something to look forward to. I mean, we do have something to look forward to. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm actually looking at our TikTok.
Yeah.
Again, because I'm obsessed.
Guys, go follow our TikTok.
Right.
So yeah, that was my day. I don't feel good still. You guys can hear it in my voice. I don't feel good, but I mean, I'm home. I'm fine. I'm comfortable.
I gave her the option. I said, Brooke, you want to just do this another night? And she said, no, let's do it. So
no, let's do it, because I don't know another night that I don't know when I could do it. So
okay.
So we're gonna do it now.
Sounds good.
And it'll be great.
All right. Well, we'll start.
All right. This is Brooke.
And this is Nikki.
And this is my so-called whatever.
Hey.
Holiday Edition, Volume 3.
Yes. Today, we are talking about holiday parties, decor, and food of the 80s and 90s. Mostly the 80s, but the 80s and 90s.
Yes. And I'm excited about this.
I am too.
Because I am passionate about food. And especially like nostalgic types of foods. Like from childhood and stuff. And I got excited on the last episode trying to talk about one of them, and then we were like, let's just add it to the next one. So here we are.
What were you going to say?
It's on the list.
It is? Because I'm going to check to see if the thing I just thought of in my head is on here, and I don't think it is. Do you want me to just say it now?
Say it.
Okay. The little tree, Little Debbie snacks.
Yes.
Do you remember those?
Yes, they still have them.
My mom would always get, because my mom was had a thing about Little Debbie. I did not like them. So my mom really liked Little Debbie snacks, as you guys know in the past. Nutty bars, man, always. Never got the stuff I was more of a Drake girl.
I was always a Drake girl. Yes.
Give me
the bars were fire.
Yeah. So we always got the Christmas tree Little Debbie snacks. So they were I don't know, sponge cake with a white frosting and then a frosting covering
layer.
That.
Yeah.
That was a little hard and had little sprinkles on it and stuff, like a Christmas tree. It was more, I liked that better than I liked the nutty bars or the oatmeal cream pies. I definitely remember a time when I ate too many of them and my mom got really mad because I ate so many. I just sat there and ate them. I ate 4, maybe 5. That's a lot.
That's almost a whole box. I think there's 8 in the box.
That's a lot. And you guys, you can't I mean, I'm sure people can eat it, but it's sticky sweet. I think I was just hungry. And instead of eating a meal, I ate the trees and kind of lost count of what I had eaten. And I just didn't do that because food in our house just wasn't, you just didn't do that. So my mom was super mad that I ate those. And I was sorry, I was hungry.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So one of my neighbors on Facebook, she's been posting about them.
Oh, really?
Yes, because she loves them. So she goes, like when she sees them in a store, she just buys a bunch.
Oh.
So she like hoards them because she loves them so much.
Oh.
And I hadn't really thought about them for a long time. Like I'm sure I'd seen them in the stores.
Yeah.
But it makes me want one. Like I want one right now. So I might have to buy a box. And I will have one.
You'll have one, and I don't think you'll want another one.
No, because I don't ever remember really caring for them. They're not chocolate.
Right.
If it was chocolate, different story. But I know that my daughter would like them, and I know that my husband would like them. So
should we start with the other stuff that we?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. So
a lot of these, and they're all on the website. You can go and you can actually read like the notes that we took, because we're just going to leave them on the website. But the first thing I'd like to talk about is Swedish meatballs. Swedish meatballs in my family were a staple holiday Christmas party. It's what my mom would bring.
It's a tradition.
Right. Because we always had a family party. Always. It was usually at my aunt's house. But I would never go. I only remember like a couple times going to another party. But my mom would take these meatballs with her. And I did not like the meatballs. I did not like them. They made me sick to my stomach. I just didn't like them. And so when there would be meatballs at other places, I would never try them because I just thought they're all Swedish meatballs. They all taste the same.
Right.
Until you made meatballs, and it was ketchup and grape jelly meatballs. And I remember I ate so many. Do you remember this?
I think I do.
And I couldn't get over it. I raved about these. I was like, Brooke, you don't understand. I have not liked meatballs my entire life, and I love them now. Like, I love them. I absolutely love them. And I want to say, like, Kevin and I were together. Like, this is how, like...
Oh, yeah, we were definitely, like, adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have made it if I wasn't, you know?
Right.
And I make them in the crock pot.
And
and I just buy frozen meatballs. I don't make meatballs.
They're so good. And honestly, I wouldn't have never tried IKEA meatballs if I hadn't had your meatballs. And I love IKEA meatballs. Let me tell you. I love them so much. I bought tons of frozen ones. We had them in stock.
And you had too many.
We had too many, yeah.
And so you gave me some.
Mm-hmm.
And those are delicious.
They're pretty good.
So I just had to add that I love meatballs. I love all meatballs. I've never met a meatball I didn't like. And I don't care if they're Swedish or like the grape jelly ketchup ones, or if they're like in a marinara sauce, or if they're in like a beef gravy. I make those a lot, actually, now. But I love a meatball. Homemade or frozen. Frozen meatballs are good. Turkey ones are good. We always usually have meatballs.
Mm-hmm.
And they're usually like a Swedish type meatball, but, you know, different sauces, different sweet and sour meatballs.
Yeah, I think my mom, even though she called them Swedish meatballs, I think they were more of a sweet and sour meatball.
Yeah.
And I really didn't like them. You would probably have loved them, but I
probably would have.
I did not like them. I was all set.
Yeah, we usually have meatballs. And I also have to add, this is a shout out to Linda from work.
Hey, Linda.
She is not listening, I'm sure, but she makes the best meatballs. And when we can't do it this year, but we have like a Christmas party at work or a holiday party at work.
Yeah.
Like during office hours.
Yeah.
And Linda she's the one that kind of organizes it all. And she gets everyone on the same page and figures out who's bringing what. She always brings meatballs. And
you're
she
like,
makes the meatballs.
Linda, thank you.
Her meatballs are the best, and she knows that I love them. So now on my birthday, she will bring me my own little crock pot with meatballs.
That's adorable. Oh my gosh.
They're so good. She makes them, and she's like, they're nothing special. She makes them herself. Like, they're not frozen. They're so good. They got big chunks of like onion and green pepper.
Oh.
They're good.
I don't know if I would like that, but I'm glad that you do.
I love it. So
good on Linda.
Thank you, Linda. And I can't wait for 2021. Hopefully I can have them then.
Sounds good.
But then, so next on the list,
Yes,
you had put fruitcake.
I did. I wasn't aware this was kind of took off in the 80s. I always thought it was, I mean, and I do think it is a traditional thing. It's been passed down from years and years and years.
Right.
And I watched this video, and that's why I was like, I had fruitcake on my list anyway. But when they said it was like an 80s thing, I was like, oh, it is.
It seems something that would be like more like 50s, 60s to me.
Right.
But
same. Yeah. I guess like it probably started to die out after the 80s probably, which that I can see. And I knew about fruitcake because of Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's the Christmas special that we watched. That's how I think I got introduced to fruitcake.
Probably the same for me because we didn't have it. Like we didn't have fruitcake.
Did you know that a fruitcake, if packaged well, can last up to 25 years?
That's gross.
But, and I said, I think it's due to the alcohol because the alcohol like kills bacteria.
Right.
The USDA suggests only 2 to 3 months if refrigerated. So just putting that out there. And I said, here's a neat article about fruitcake, and I didn't link to it. So
correct.
I will go find that. I will go find that article about fruitcake, and I will link to it in the story on the website.
Yeah, and I just added that I've never had fruitcake, and I won't be trying it anytime soon.
We are actually going to have some this weekend. We bought some.
Tell me how that goes.
We're going to watch Pee-wee's Christmas special.
Perfect.
And we're going to eat fruitcake. And
awesome.
It's just Walmart fruitcake.
Yeah.
But it's heavy.
Dense.
Sure
it's
is.
It's a dense cake.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how
Tell me what you think.
See how it pans out.
Maybe it's good.
Maybe. So the next thing I put were pigs in a blanket. Pigs in a blanket always makes me think of Christmas.
Does it really? I love that.
I don't know why, because I think I liked them so much, and because it was something that like my aunt would make, or like you would make them when we would get together. We did like for a little while we did like a Christmas thing where we get together. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, that's probably where you had my meatballs,
right? And I said the easiest way to do it is Pillsbury crescent rolls and Little Smokies, and bam, you got your. That's it.
You got your pigs in a blanket.
Yes.
That for me does not remind me of Christmas. And I didn't put this, but it more reminds me of Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
But I do love them.
Mm-hmm.
With some mustard.
They're pretty
great
good
with mustard. Remember that time that I was living in your apartment?
Yes.
And I made pigs in a blanket.
Yes, I remember.
But I made them with I made big dogs.
I don't remember
like regular size hot dogs, and because it was just Pete and I.
Yeah.
This is before Sadie was born.
Yeah.
But I made like a whole package of 8 hot dogs, and wrapped it in the crescent rolls, and I think you and Kevin had some.
Oh, I don't remember that, but I remember us.
I remember it so well.
I do remember us doing pigs in a blanket, like the small ones, and like actually it was like you, Erica, and Darcy came over for Christmas.
Yep.
And
I don't remember that, but I'm sure we did.
I have a picture of us.
Delicious.
I had braces, so it was during that time.
That was during that time. So the next thing on the list is dump cake. So Nikki, you talk about dump cake, because I've never heard of dump cake.
So I was watching a YouTube video. Again, I linked to it. This time I really did link to it. And it was about food in the 80s, supposedly. Well, like, it was like supposed to be Christmas because I had my list, and then I was like, well, let me go and watch some things to see if there's anything I forgot, you know? And they said dump cake. And I'm like, what the hell is dump cake? I've never even heard of it. And I guess it's something they explained it, that it's an easy way to make cake, and it involves cake mix, fruit, and Sprite, or a fruity drink.
So,
fruity soda.
You know, I may have heard of it, but I don't I didn't know what it was, or because I've heard of making like cake with like a soda.
Yeah. Like a
But-
bundt. Like I just had a 7-Up bundt cake. So I don't know if that, but that wasn't a dump cake. Like the dump cake looks different. But I guess you could put it in a bundt and it would probably look the same.
Yeah,
I
totally.
did include a recipe for red velvet dump cake on the website. It looks amazing. I'm going to try it because Kevin loves red velvet.
Sounds really good. I like red velvet.
And I even included, that one didn't include Sprite. So I was like, I got to find something that includes the Sprite. So I linked to another article about fruit soda dump cake. So you can go on the website and you can take a look.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So the next one.
Yes. We were just talking about this. We were talking about this. Jackie and a bunch of us, we were talking about homemade mac and cheese.
Right.
And I didn't realize that there was a such thing as homemade mac and cheese. Like I had, box mac and cheese growing up. And then if you wanted to get fancy, you had shells and cheese. Like that was like
Velveeta shells and cheese.
Like my birthday, I would get shells and cheese. Like,
right, because it was like 70 cents more.
Right. It was more expensive.
And a little bougie.
Right. And I'd never had homemade mac and cheese until I went to some Christmas party and it was in like a casserole dish. And I was like, what's this? And it had like Ritz crackers on the top. Crushed.
Yum.
And they were like, it's homemade mac and cheese. I was like, what? Like,
what is this that you're talking of? What is this that you speak of?
What do you mean? Like, did you get powder? Like, did you collect the powder? And then like, I don't understand. Like it just
add the butter in the milk.
Like I understand, but like, I just thought it, and I was a kid. So,
right.
In my head, it was just like, what?
Kids' minds are, yeah.
The best homemade mac and cheese that I've ever had was Kevin's grandmother's homemade mac and cheese. And it was so good. And she gave me the recipe and I came home and I couldn't wait to make it. Because I follow directions really well. It tasted nothing like her mac and cheese. Like it didn't taste at all like hers. I just don't understand. I did everything to the T. And when I do a recipe, it tastes like the recipe. Like, and this did not taste anything like hers. So I think she was putting extra stuff in it and like she just forgot and didn't add that to the recipe. So
yeah. Well, that could happen.
Right.
Mac and cheese we always have Christmas Eve.
That's pretty cool.
My aunt makes it. Hers, she does make it a casserole dish, but it's more like creamy.
Ooh, I like that.
It's delicious. I love her mac and cheese.
Is like Susan
Maina.
Okay, Maina. Okay.
She makes a delicious macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
So and she makes it for other things too. Like if I ask her to make a macaroni and cheese, she'll make a macaroni and cheese.
No.
Like if it's Sadie's birthday or whatever. But
or tomorrow.
Correct. So I look forward to her mac and cheese every Christmas Eve.
That's cool.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
So the next on the list, I added mini Italians.
Okay.
So the only way I can explain this is just to explain how to make them.
Okay.
So then people will know or maybe know. This is a family thing that generations. So picture a meat grinder.
Okay.
Like an old-fashioned meat grinder.
Okay.
That buckles to like the side of the countertop.
Yeah.
And you Nikki, you've had these before.
I have at your house?
Yes.
With a meat grinder?
You didn't see the meat grinder.
Okay.
In the meat grinder, you put Genoa salami, American cheese, pickles, green pepper, onion, and it grinds it all up and you mix it up. And then you add some oil and some salt and pepper. And you stuff them in finger rolls.
I've never had this.
Yes, you have. Nope, you absolutely have. You absolutely have.
Oh my
You have been my
God.
friend forever. Every holiday party that we've ever had has these. Even like birthday parties, Super Bowl parties, Any parties.
Okay,
I'm
do
sure
me
my
a favor. Do me a favor.
Yes.
This Christmas, just
Yeah.
set one aside for me.
I will. I make so many. P.S. It's worth mentioning. So you grind it all up and you put it in finger rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you think of finger sandwiches, you think like tuna salad and ham salad and egg salad. Not us. Many Italians. I promise you, they're the most
I bet
delicious
they are
food
amazing.
in the
Brooke, I've
world.
never had them.
Yes, you have. I promise you, you have. And you just don't remember because it's been a while.
I guess I
But
don't.
I will probably make them Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And I always make way more than we need because they're even better left over.
Okay. Well, if you don't mind, set aside
No,
a couple.
I will pack
few.
up a pack for you to bring home.
That is amazing.
They are so delicious. Ever since I was a child, I've loved these. And like kids don't like green pepper and onion and stuff, but like it all works.
Yum.
So well.
They sound so good.
They are best in a Bangor rye finger roll.
Yum.
So I always have to get there really early on Christmas Eve because they're not open very long and I have to order them in advance. But they're delicious. So I will save you some.
Okay. Sounds good. That's great. I said great. Like good. Like instead
Yes,
of like great and good.
Yes, you did. So I also added to the list pierogies.
Oh, I love pierogies. Thank you so much, Sarah. You know who you are, and you know what you did.
Those pierogies were delicious that she
pierogies. OMG.
So my aunt makes them. She is from that part in Europe, and like, well, her family is. But anyway, she makes real pierogies, and they are so good. They're so good. It was always one of my brother's favorites too. And she makes them every Christmas Eve.
Nice.
It's usually the only time I have them. It's just Christmas. But they're so good. And I just am going to add, if you've never, like the pierogies that you get like in the grocery store, because like sometimes I'll get the frozen ones because Sadie likes them. They're nothing like the real thing. Seek out a real pierogi and you will thank me later. They're so good.
They're amazing. Thank you again, Sarah, for letting me achieve that. So the next on the list is Christmas cookies. I mean, Christmas cookies, you know.
That's classic.
Right. And the one thing I didn't include about this, and I should have, is that we'd make molasses cookies. And I just saw that on you as well. I just made them for Kevin.
Yes, you did.
And I like got teary-eyed making them because it smelled so much like my childhood, like so much. And it was so neat to make those because I'm almost positive I used the same recipe. It was just a Betty Crocker molasses cookie recipe.
Classic, yeah.
And it's very clovey like tasting, like clovey. And because Gramp loved them. So when we were making cookies, we'd always make sure we made molasses too, because Gramp loved those. But we would also make sugar cookies from scratch and we would decorate them. It was a big deal. It was Jamie and I would always do it. And maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but like I just have this memory of us decorating Christmas cookies. And it was like Nan loved to do little things like that, like little projects.
Oh, that's nice.
Like she'd be like, next week, we're going to make snowmen.
I can't wait to make snowmen.
We can't eat them, but I think we did gingerbread possibly. But Nan had these like metal cookie cutters. Like they were like heavy duty cookie cutters. Like one was a tree, and I think one was like a gingerbread man. And that's how we would have the trees and the gingerbread man. And then one was just like a circle. And we could just do whatever we wanted with that one. That one I loved to like have my own creativity like shine through on those cookies. So in the 90s, my mom would make them with Logan, but she would get the ready-made sugar cookies,
like the slice and bake ones,
right?
Or like the
slice and bake ones. Like I'm pretty sure, and like I started to question, like, is that early 2000s or was that? But I'm pretty sure it was the 90s, and so that's that.
So I remember making Christmas cookies with my grandmother my mom's mom. So I would make chocolate chip cookies with my dad's mom, my other Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would make Christmas cookies with my mom's mom. And it was the same kind of thing. Like she would do most of the work. She'd roll it out, and then I'd use the cookie cutters. And she had like an angel and a tree and a candy cane and like a gingerbread shaped man.
Yeah.
And I think like an ornament shaped one. But I have her cookie cutters.
Oh,
I haven't used them.
you know what? I have
But I
Nan's
really
too.
should.
I just realized. I
We
forgot
really
about
should.
that.
We really should use our grandmother's
We
cookie
really
cutters.
should use them. I just came across them just recently, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I did not realize I had these cookie cutters." It was just something that my mom had given me, like in that
And that's special.
that day that she gave me a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize what it was, like
Yeah.
until I like just saw it. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, these are the cookie cutters." So,
Yeah. So I added that molasses cookies. Also, my great grandmother would make them. I don't remember. She died when I was a baby. But my mom tells me my great grandmother would make them, and then my grandmother would make them, and I remember her making them. And now my mom makes them.
Oh.
And I don't know, and maybe you can tell me, but they used, I call it the classic molasses cookie cutter. But I don't know if that's actually how molasses cookies are supposed to be, or if that's just how I've always known them my whole life, because all three women use the same cookie cutter. My mom has the cookie cutter.
I can tell you that my grandmother never used a cookie cutter with molasses cookies.
Okay.
She
So,
spooned them.
okay. So then it's probably not a classic molasses cookie shape. It's just the cookie cutter shape that they always use, which looked like a flower.
Okay.
Like
No,
a
that is a classic cookie. That is a classic.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just telling you that Nan spooned them.
She spooned them. Okay.
Yes, and that's what I did. I used like the little, the little scoop. Like it
Yep.
goes. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm not a huge fan of molasses cookies,
Mm-hmm.
but they smell delightful.
They always smell like you're gonna love them.
Right. And then I have them and I'm like, well, I mean, I'll have one, and I'm
Mhm.
happy to have one, and one is enough for me.
It gives me acid reflux. I'm just gonna be honest. Like they give me acid reflux. Everything does. Kevin loves them, and he has been craving them
That's
forever.
awesome.
So the other night I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make you molasses cookies. He's like, no, you don't have to. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna make you molasses cookies. You've been wanting molasses cookies. Let's do it. I'm gonna make them. So I did. They came out
That's
good.
nice.
Yeah.
So something I didn't put on here, but I'm just going to add as like a little addendum.
Mhm.
My mother always makes gingerbread too, but not gingerbread cookies, but like gingerbread
Oh, I've never had that.
with like whipped cream, like real whipped cream
Wait, I think I have had that at your house.
plopped on top, and it's delicious.
Yes, I think I
It's
have had it, and
delicious.
it's very good.
She
It's like
just
a
makes it in,
banana
like, a square
bread.
pan.
It's like a banana bread, but gingerbread.
Kind of, yes. She makes it in like a square pan,
Yeah.
and you cut like squares out.
Yeah.
And it's divine.
Yes.
Delicious.
I have had that. Because when you said the cream on top thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So next on the list, I added cherry walnut cake.
Interesting.
Again, maybe it's just my family, but we do a lot of desserts.
I love
Cherry
it.
walnut cake is desserts are amazing. Cherry walnut cake was one of my grandmother's favorites,
Mm-hmm.
and she always made it, and now my mom makes it, and actually the last couple of years I've made it. And it's just how it sounds. It's cherry cake with walnuts, like a white frosting. You decorate with cherries and walnuts. It's delicious. But
Yeah.
I like cherry cakes and cherry flavors, and I also like strawberry cakes and stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
like I like fruity cakes like that.
Me too.
And I like walnuts. So
I'm not a fan of walnuts.
I love them.
I don't know what it is. I just don't like them.
And that also reminds me of something else that I didn't put on here, but Christmas time, my grandmother on my dad's side, my grandparents, they always had a nut bowl.
Yes.
And they always had walnuts
Mm-hmm.
and like the nutcracker thing, like not like a real nutcracker. Of course it was a nutcracker, but Not like a
dun dun
nutcracker like
dun
you're
dun
thinking.
dun 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 dun.
Correct.
Not like one of those.
Right, not like a soldier guy.
Right.
But like the metal ones. And it would set on the side of the bowl, the
Like
the
a
nut
lobster
bowl.
crack. Like a lobster cracker. Because it's the same thing.
But it was always out at Christmas, and I loved that bowl because I loved walnuts.
Nan always had a nut bowl.
I love it.
She'd have
I want a nut
walnuts.
bowl.
What'd you say?
I think I want a nut bowl.
I think I want a nut bowl too. So the next thing for me is what I was just talking about there, little marshmallow snowmen. And Nan and I would make these. She would get very excited to make them. She would make these cute little snowmen. Well, I would make them too, out of marshmallows and toothpicks and cloves. So the cloves would be the eyes and the buttons.
Yep.
What was the nose? I don't know what the noses were. But the cloves, again, because Nan would use like real cloves. When I saw them because we were looking for ground cloves, Kevin was like, what would you use cloves for? Like regular cloves. And I was like, snowmen. Like that's what we used them for. So and I always remember loving the smell of the cloves and how badly I wanted to just eat one. But it's probably a good thing I didn't, because that would have been gross.
That would have been disgusting, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Little marshmallow snowmen.
I wish I remember what we used for the nose. Because it must have been something.
Right, yeah.
Like I almost think it was candy corn. But that wouldn't go into
Christmas.
Right, but it wouldn't go into a marshmallow. So
oh, right. It would have to be something that was like prickly.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. But we'd have little mini, real quick. I forgot about this and I just remembered. Yeah. So we'd have the toothpick arms, and there'd be like little mini marshmallows on the arms.
Oh, cute!
And little mini marshmallows on the legs. So
that's
it'd be
cute.
Yeah.
So it was like a real man.
Right.
Kind of sounds like he looked like a Michelin Man a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
That's adorable.
It was a snowman with legs. Yeah. And arms.
So I put on here, and this is what I was going to talk about last night.
Oh, okay.
I might say it wrong, but Spumoni Ice Cream.
Oh.
Which is technically, it's supposed to be gelato.
Okay.
It's definitely Italian. It is divine.
I've never had it.
Oh my gosh. It's like a limited edition flavor that you can only get at the holidays from what I've ever seen. And I haven't found it for a few years, but I look for it every single holiday season at every grocery store or like store that has ice cream.
Okay.
In the past, I've found it from 80's and Friendly's.
Okay.
And I put on there, you New England people know what I'm talking about when I say Friendly's.
Yeah.
And it is, so it's chocolate ice cream, cherry ice cream, and pistachio ice cream.
Mixed together?
Yeah, kind of like, think about like a Neapolitan with like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, but it's like that.
I've had this then. I've had this.
It's the best. It's all my favorite flavors.
I love all those.
Chocolate is my absolute favorite. Pistachio is my second favorite. And cherry is amazing. Like cherry, anything is delicious.
Right.
So I really want some.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay. If I find some, I will get it for you.
Yes, please. Just one thing.
No problem.
And then I kind of added on to that the Viennetta ice cream.
Yeah.
So that is more, it just always reminds me of Christmas.
Yeah.
It's available year round, but it's just one of those like Christmas things. And if you guys don't know what it is, it's like a fancy like ice cream log. So yeah, the Viennetta ice cream is like a log.
I'm switching us together review.
It's like a log type ice cream.
Yeah.
With like fancy like frosting type ripples on top and like layers of chocolate and vanilla, and it's delicious. It reminds me of Christmas. I don't know why. I don't remember ever having it as a child, but I get it now.
Okay.
Because it's delicious. And it was first introduced, I shouldn't say that. No, it's been around for a long time. But Breyers, I think it's Breyers that puts it out.
Okay.
They introduced it in like 1987.
Oh,
so it was kind of like an
interesting.
80s thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I get now is just the Breyers one that you get in the grocery store. I'm not going to make it.
Amazing.
But it's
Okay.
delicious.
I actually have one to add
Oh, okay.
that I forgot about
I'm excited.
that I absolutely loved. And it was the Pepperidge Farm cakes.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
this was like a special occasion when you got the Pepperidge Farm cakes.
Okay. So you talk about your experience with the Pepperidge Farm cakes, and I'm gonna talk about my experience with the Pepperidge Farm cakes.
Okay. I feel like the Pepperidge Farm cakes was a newer thing for us, even though they've been around since like the 80s, I think. But like the 90s is when we started getting Pepperidge Farm cakes. I remember all of a sudden, like my mom came home with the Pepperidge Farm cake for Christmas time. I was like, this is crazy. And it was divine. It was so good. Yeah. It was, I think it was 90s. Maybe it was 80s. But anyway, it was like a highlight for me because it was so good. And I couldn't believe, like, I always thought they were so expensive. Like, so expensive. And I can remember Kevin and I going shopping, like grocery shopping for one of the first times. And we came across the Beverage Farm cakes. And I was like, oh my gosh, these are only $10, like, or $8. I'm like, can you please get one? He's like, of course you can, you know? And I was like, oh my gosh, it's not even Christmas and we're having a Pepperidge Farm cake. Oh my God. So, yeah.
So Pepperidge Farm cakes for me, and this is, I think, more like starting in the late 80s, like when we lived on Grant Street. This is what I remember. We always had a Pepperidge Farm cake in the freezer. Always.
Okay.
We would have like one a week. My dad would always get another one because it was something that was in the freezer and I don't know if it's like if company came over or whatever, my mom could just pull it out, thaw it real quick on the counter.
That was a thing. That was a thing. Like, that's a thing. That's a thing. People kept the Pepperidge Farm cakes, especially for that. We never had people just drop by. Like, that was a thing that happened before I was born. But it was like, all of a sudden after I was born, it didn't happen. Because my sister would always talk about people would stop over all the time. Like, but I feel like Nan used to have them too for like special occasion. Like in the freezer when company would come. So I feel like maybe it was like, I'm just confusing things, and maybe it was like an 80s thing that Nan had them first, and then like my mom got one. I was like, whoa, this is like big time. We're gonna get out the Pepperidge Farm cake. Holy shit, you know.
So I just remember, so we would get the triple layer like chocolate ones.
Yeah.
And do you remember the frosting?
So good.
Like, you could peel the frosting off the top.
Yeah.
That's how I would eat it. I would eat the frosting first, and I would peel it off and like eat it with like my fingers.
Yep.
It was like a little piece of like fudgy frosting.
It was. It's so good.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Still good.
And then the frosting in the layers was like creamy.
Like my tuxedo cake that I just had. That's kind of how it was. Like for my birthday, I had a tuxedo cake.
Delicious.
I think that's what it was called. And it kind of was like a Pepperidge Farm cake.
That sounds absolutely delicious. And I really think I want a Pepperidge Farm cake soon. Yeah. I really shouldn't, but I really want one. But after company would leave, it would be in the fridge.
Oh,
so then it was like
fair game.
Like free for all.
Nice.
Absolutely. And my brother didn't like them. So it was mostly me and my mom that would eat them. But that brings me to a really quick memory. And I don't know if it was you or not, but I'm going to ask you. And we can keep it in or not.
Okay.
But do you remember, I don't know if it was you, but my mom made, back when like the Jello Cheesecakes were kind of new.
Okay.
And my mom used to make them a lot. We are a sweet tooth family.
Yeah.
We always have been.
I love it.
My family, we always had Oreos and devil dogs and Swiss cake rolls.
I loved it.
All the stuff.
Yeah.
But was it you that the first time you had the Jello cheesecake was at my house on Grant Street? And you and I sat on the living room floor and ate like half of it right out of the pan.
Maybe.
I don't remember. I feel like it was you. We would have been in high school.
It probably was.
And I remember like half of it had been eaten. There was half left. And you and I each took a fork.
It really feels like a memory. I like, as you're explaining it to me, it feels like it happened. I don't know if it did or not, but
Yep. I feel like I remember us sitting on the floor in front of the TV in my living room, in front of that console TV.
Yeah.
And eating this Jello cheesecake, and you were like, "It's delicious. This is the best thing I've ever had."
I think that was the only time I ever had Jello cheesecake.
It's really good for like a quick cheesecake. I haven't
Yeah.
had it in years, but I'm sure it's still the same. So anyway, that was just a quick memory.
Funny. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah. Every time I think of Pepperidge Farm now, I think of Joe.
I know.
Every friggin' time. And I'm like, why didn't I include something in there that was like from Maine? You know what I mean? Like a lobster or something or whatever. But I didn't. And he was like, oh, he was disappointed. And he said, Pepperidge Farm remembers. I'll put that commercial right in here on the website.
Yeah.
Because it's funny. And I think possibly they could be talking about Pepperidge Farm cakes. So I will put that in there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the next thing is one that you had mentioned.
Yes.
I don't remember ever having this.
You have never had this?
I have had it. I don't remember it as a child. I don't like it at all.
Okay. I love it. I love
At
it.
all.
I feel like I had this at somebody's party when I was a little bit older in like the 90s. And it's sherbet ice cream with Sprite or ginger ale. Probably ginger ale. And it was amazing. Like I was like, what is this bubbly ice cream drink? It was like a bubbly milkshake. And I was sold.
So, actually, I feel like my mom did used to make this. I
probably had it at your house. I probably
because
had
I'm
it.
picturing her punch. Like I'm picturing our punch bowl
Yep.
on our countertop
Yep.
on Grant Street with this monstrosity in it, and I wouldn't have it because I do not like sherbet.
I always call
However
it
you say it.
sherbet. I just call it sherbet, but it's sherbet. Yeah.
I don't like it, and I don't like Sprite or it was probably made with 7-Up. I feel like
Yeah.
it would have been made with 7-Up.
7-Up sounds about right. Yeah.
I don't like. I shouldn't say that. I do like 7-Up, but I don't like it that much.
Right.
So that very well may have been because I feel like my mom tried to bring it back not that long ago, and like it was not good. But that's because I don't like sherbet.
So I just did it recently. When was it? Was it Easter?
That would be a very Eastery thing, I think.
No, it wasn't Easter.
Because it's colored like Easter.
It was something. We went over to Kevin's brother and sister-in-law's. It was like, because they're in our bubble, just so you know, like they're in our bubble.
Yeah.
And so we went over there and I brought that with me, and I brought it in a pitcher that like had a little thing on, like a spout.
Yep.
And it looked horrendous. Like it did not look good. Like it didn't look pretty. It was like kind of brown, kind of like but it tasted amazing. It was so good. So yeah.
That's funny. No,
Yeah.
I'm not a sherbet fan.
I probably had it at your house. It was probably you.
Yeah, you probably did. Because it does sound familiar. It's just nothing I ever would have even tried.
It probably would be good with some alcohol.
I haven't It might be different with alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be different.
Put a little vodka in there.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like Jello unless it's Jello shots.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I'll take all the Jello.
I love Jello, period. But Jello shots are even more amazing.
So the next thing on the list you had was cans of fruit punch.
Correct.
Which I totally forgot even existed.
I can remember just looking. It was like first grade. Like, because I can see it right now. My sister was helping with whatever this holiday party was. And all of a sudden there was this big can, and somebody took a can opener thingy and went boop to the top of it and started pouring it in the punch bowl. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, I didn't say what the hell is that, but I was like bewildered because I'd never seen something you drink come out of a can. It was always like corn or, beets or, tuna fish. Right. And I couldn't believe it. And I just was like, I remember talking to my sister going, did you see that guy open that can and it had juice in it? Like,
so I have a question.
Yeah.
Was it like a big can?
Yeah.
Or was it, okay. So.
And I think it was juicy juice. I think it was juicy juice.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw my notes. But
no, I didn't. I'm looking at it right now.
So when I was a kid in the 80s,
mm-hmm.
that is how we had our juice. Well, two ways. Sometimes they would get the frozen cans of concentrate.
Yes, that's how we had it.
And you mix it with the water. It looks like it came out looking like Play-Doh.
Right. Yes.
But then sometimes we would have the cans of juicy juice.
Right.
And you take the little tool and you'd have to put a little slit on one side and then the triangle cut out on the other for like air releasing.
Okay.
Something about that. And that was our juice.
Mm-hmm.
So we always had those in the fridge. So it's hilarious to me that you were like,
what in the hell?
What
and then I saw it again. Like, I didn't see it again until I started babysitting. And that's how they had their juice. And like, the mom was like really surprised that I didn't know how to like open it.
Right.
I was like, I've never had these. Like, I've seen it once.
I love that.
And then I was like a pro, you know what I mean? Because they'd have juice when they got home from school, and I would do the boop boop, and yeah.
Right, boop boop. And
yeah.
My dad, they actually still have the same tool that they used back in the 80s. Like my parents still have the same.
It's like a triangle thing.
Yeah. Like a bottle opener thing, and it has a triangle on one
right.
side, and it's like flat on the other.
Right.
But my dad still uses it for his canned milk for his coffee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He always has a can of canned milk in the fridge. It's gross.
That is funny. Oh my gosh. So yes, it was, as you said, it was a novelty for me. Yes.
That is funny.
Yes.
I love that.
So the next thing on the list blew my mind. So red and green M&Ms I immediately put on the list because I always loved some red and green M&Ms just because it was festive. And I feel like it was a new thing at one point, which it was. And it was like, ooh, look, red and green M&Ms. Woo. And so I did some research, and when they first came out, they were called holidays. They weren't called M&Ms. They were called holidays. And this was like 1986-ish. And they had little holiday icons on them.
I remember them.
Like a little like leaf, or do you know what I mean? Like a wreath or something.
Like a bell.
Yeah. Or
I remember them very well.
And that replaced the M on the M&Ms.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had them for like Easter, Halloween, Valentine's Day. They even had some for the 4th of July, I found out in the Wikipedia article.
Oh, nice.
And their slogan was, "There's nothing like holidays for your holidays."
Hey, it's true.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were called holidays, but I remember the little icons on them very well.
I kind of remember.
I don't know who, somebody in my family, could have been my parents, I don't remember. But they would have a bowl of M&Ms. Always. Like my Aunt Susan always has a bowl of M&Ms. Anyway, she always has.
Nan would always have some. Do you remember? She had the little yellow container, and you'd put the little thingy down, and candy would come out.
I don't remember that.
It was like a little dispenser.
Oh, that would be
always had
divine
M&Ms
for a child.
Always, and you'd get a little Dixie cup, put it under there, get your M&Ms. She'd always be like, "Nikki, get your vitamins." I go, "Okay, I'm gonna get my vitamins." They were
I
M&Ms.
love that.
So
I love that.
so I always had M&Ms. Always. Sometimes she put cashews in there, and I'd be upset because I love the M&Ms. But then I was like, I can't be mad at cashews.
No, cashews are amazing too. So the next and final thing on our list,
yeah,
for food items,
yeah,
is ribbon candy.
Yes. Oh my. Bleh.
Garbage candy.
But like, if you had a hankering for candy,
no,
if you had a craving for candy,
nope. I think I had one piece one time in my life, and then I was like, this is disgusting. Never again. And I also added on my notes, I am not convinced that my aunt did not bring them out every Christmas, the same ones, just to put in the dish. Truly, I was never convinced.
Because they looked pretty.
They did look pretty. They are pretty.
Yeah.
They taste like garbage.
Yeah. And it would mutilate your tongue. Every time you eat it, it would mutilate your tongue. And you'd be like, why did I eat that? And then I'd go in and get another one like me.
Right. Jeez. No, I was never a fan of ribbon candy. I couldn't even pretend to be. So that's that.
So listen, we went a little over than what we thought we were going to. So we're going to split this into 2 parts.
That's right. So we're going to record the next one.
We're going to come back and we're going to talk about parties, and we're going to talk about decor, and we've got lots to talk about.
Yep.
So we will do that next episode. So actually, because it's going to be a while, if you guys have some holiday decor items or some food that we forgot, send it all over to mysocalledwhatever@gmail.com.
That'd be awesome.
And we will put it on the podcast. Because I'm sure there's things we forgot that we're going to be like, oh, yeah. So,
absolutely,
tweet it at us. Do what you will. And we will add it to the next episode.
Absolutely.
So this has been fun.
Fantastic.
This has been really fun to reminisce about food.
I always like talking about food.
Yeah, same.
Now I want a Pepperidge farm cake.
Yes. Me too.
I think I might need to get one this weekend.
Well, you would have loved the cake that I had.
I'm sure I would have. I really can't have cake.
I was going to make you a tiny little slice.
I've done so good.
Yeah. And that's why I didn't bring it to
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
But I ate it because I went on the Peloton. So
right. Exactly. I don't have a Peloton, so. Oh, man. Well, this was a really good episode, you guys.
Yes. So,
thank you so much for listening. Find us on TikTok. Go follow us.
Right.
And we'll follow you back.
I'll be loving you forever. We'll be loving you forever.
Totally.
Till the end.
Absolutely. To the end of time.
To the end of time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.